Meeting in the month is a agenda briefing whereby we have an open forum in our council chamber where members of the public can come ask questions, make presentations, and councillors can ask questions of administration staff to get clarity on the report that they're reading and the recommendations. And then the third meeting is where the official decision making takes place. Yeah. So at a minimum, it's going to be 3 Tuesdays in a month. I can assure you that it's more than that.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Yes, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Excuse me for a minute, folks. What I might suggest to you, come along to a council meeting. Come along now as part of the public and see how it's run. Arthur also mentioned the agenda briefing, which is the week before, which is where we get to ask questions, and then at the council meeting is where you do the debate. Remember I said that you can, to try and influence and be influenced, but come along and actually see how it works. It's the best way to gauge anything. Thanks.
Just if I make a comment, Mr. Prince is a regular attender at our meetings and asks us a lot of questions and keeps us on our toes. So, you know, by all means, it's a democracy. I mean, they're open forums. I mean, occasionally our meetings will be closed because of a confidential item. They're not that often, pleasingly so, they're not that often. I think we need to be open and transparent in the conduct of business, but occasionally for legal reasons or other specific financial issues, we do have closed forums. But usually that's at the end. That is at the end of any council meeting if we do have that.
I have a question for the Deputy Commissioner. The last election 2 years ago, the ballot paper, the flap has got the address, which people say, fill up your address. I think it's very important to bring it in bold. If you change your address, please fill. I think that part is missing, and a lot of people were quite uncertain. So I think, I mean, it's not your problem, but I think it's the printer. I think they left that word. If you change your address, please put in your new address. I think a lot of people was wondering how to go about the flap. I think that was a slight error there.
Yeah. There was quite a bit of confusion caused by that, and we've taken on board the feedback we received and actually have removed that from the back of the certificate. And what we've added this time is if any of your enrolment details have changed, visit such and such a website so that you can update your details. So that's what we've done this time, because it did create some confusion, you're quite correct.
Okay, are there any other questions? Okay. Oh yes, Nicky.
Sorry, if I can have a moment.
Oh, Nicky's having a moment.
I'm having a moment. Good evening, everyone. I'll just take a moment of your time. For those of you that haven't met me, I'm Nicky Mancelli. You may, for those that were here 2 years ago, I was Nicky Armstrong, so I am still the same person. So 2 years ago, we had a rather extraordinary election here in the City of Canning. It broke pretty much every electoral record set, including number of candidates, number of complaints, those types of things. So, you know, good and bad. What I ask you, if you are intending to nominate for this particular election, go onto the nomination builder. I'll give you the thumb drive with all the information. Start creating your profile now, as Chris has already alluded to. You can contact me at any stage for feedback. The earlier you do that, the more feedback I can give you, the more likely I am to accept your nomination when we meet face to face. Now, as I said 2 years ago, we had 57 candidates. I work full time. 57 candidates means 57 nominations means 57 meetings in an 8-day period. So I'm not anticipating we'll have that same number this time. However, to make it easier on yourselves as well as on me, please be organised, get those things in place, decide that you're going to become a candidate and start your profile early. Get in contact with me to make an appointment. Please make an appointment. It makes your life easier, my life easier. We know what we're expecting and we can have, a conversation while we're there, and all of those hiccups can be dealt with before you meet with me. The other thing I would ask is in regards to authorisation of materials. So of the in excess of 100 complaints that we had, almost all of them related to the authorisation of materials. So please familiarise yourself with that particular piece of legislation. Please make sure you check and double check everything that you put out into the community, and by that we also include Facebook pages. So just be mindful of those types of things, and please contact me early. I am available from now. My preference is email, but I will return voicemail messages. I'm just not always able to answer my phone. So thank you very much. Good luck, everybody, and I look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nicky. Yes, just a reminder, Karen, the controller, is telling me that we have an information pack for you at the entrance and exit, so please pick that up on your way out. Nicky's got the thumb drive. Is that available there, Nicky? Okay, and perhaps before you leave the building, Nicky will give you that at the exit as well. In closing, thank you very much. I'd like to acknowledge the contribution from Tony Brown from Walga, from Chris Avent and Nicky from the WA Electoral Commission. It's been a long time association with the WA Electoral Commission from my time in Claremont through to, again, back to WA here. My councillors who gave their presentation, thank you very much for making the time available. For the other councillors who are here tonight, again, thank you for my other councillors for attending. And I'd also like to acknowledge the efforts of my staff, Karen, Lee, Meredith. Karen, Lee and Meredith for putting the program together. Thank you very much. Mr Mayor, thank you for your time, and Scott for our audio-visual. Please pick up the information on the way out. Any questions, obviously direct them to the Electoral Commission for the elections. If you want to talk with me about the City of Canning, by all means have a talk with me. Thank you very much and have a good evening.